So welcome back to my favorite spot. Please, if you have 3 minutes, join me as we walk and talk. As I've said, what I'd like to do on these walks is to share a few ideas to help you and your people to be better. Today's topic is conflict management. Conflict can seem like something dangerous and destructive, but that's only when we confuse it with fighting. So what do we mean when we speak about conflict? Conflict is simply a condition in which people's concerns seem to be incompatible. And if we see it that way, then we can see that fighting is just one way of dealing with conflict, but by no means the only way, and indeed not necessarily the best way either. We all face situations each day while working with people in which we find that our wishes differ from those of the other person. We could say it's a fact of life. So how can we manage conflict constructively? Well, it starts with recognizing that we have choices in how we deal with this interpersonal conflict. We can steer conflict in different directions by choosing different ways of handling it. We all have our favorite, or we could call it habitual, way in which we tend to deal with conflict. But our habitual way may not always be the best way given the particular conflict situation. A tool that I've used extensively to help myself and others is known as the TKI, or Thomas Kilmann conflict mode instrument. It was developed by Kenneth Thomas and Ralph Kilman in the early 70s and is based on a model of management conflict styles proposed in the 1960s already. This tool helps you to understand your preferred way of managing conflict, but also highlights other ways that may be better or more effective given a particular conflict situation. Each of the so-called conflict handling modes has strengths depending on the situation, and giving yourself time to think before considering the best way of dealing with a conflict is hugely beneficial. Also, knowing that you have choices in a conflict gives you a greater sense of control and would likely lead to a better outcome too. Conflict is a fascinating topic that leaders and managers face every day. Whether you're fighting for resources, handling disagreements, dealing with complaints, or simply managing the differences between people in your team or across your company, we can all do with assistance in improving our performance in managing conflict, and in so doing it in a better and more effective way. If you'd like to learn more, please do not hesitate to reach out to me through the contact details you see below. I'd love to hear from you, and together we can explore ways to help you and your team and your business to be better. My topic next week will be the effectiveness of teams, and I'll be talking about an exceptionally useful and effective tool. Until next week, this is Sean.